Jenny said, my name's Joyce Sullivan, and together with my colleague Jill, we run Age UK Barnet's Scams Awareness Project. So this project was set up in 2022 and has just been extended, so we have another 2 years of the project in Barnet. We're very lucky in Barnet. We're one of only 16 Age UKs across the country that have this Scams project. So we're really delighted that we're able to deliver this service to residents in Barnet. Most of our services at Age UK Barnet are for those aged 55 and over, but the Scam service is 50 and over. So if you're younger, older, you can come and get support from us as well. The initiative is sponsored by Lloyds Bank, and the financing comes from the proceeds of cybercrime. So there's a nice circularity there. When the criminals are caught and their accounts frozen, the money comes back in and allows us to run services like this to help you and protect us all from being scammed again. So our mission is to ensure as many people over the age of 50 in Barnet as possible are protected from scams, know how to identify a scam and know what to do if you are unfortunate enough to have fallen victim to a scam. So we'll talk a little bit later about some of the very, very practical things that you can do. And how you can recover some of the money that you may have lost through scams. The banks are very good now. With certain types of scams, you are able to recover some of the money, but depending on the type of scam it is. But you need to know what to do and you need to act quickly. So we hope, as part of this project, we'll empower you a little bit more to know when you can go to your bank and how you can get your money back. Okay, and just to say, we're assisted in the project by our 2 wonderful volunteers, Kathy and Liz, who have both been here all day. We do have an information stall here, so please, before you leave today, we have a huge amount of information booklets, so please do come and pick them up before you leave today. So can I just ask first, before we look at the next slide, can I just have a very, very quick show of hands? Does anybody know anybody who's been scammed or has been a victim of scams themselves or worried that you might be? So that's probably a lot of us here. So what we do know that there are certain types of scams where the scammers target older people. That's not to say that only older people are scammed. There are other types of scams that target younger people, but there are certainly a lot of scams which specifically target older people. So I think those are the ones that we're going to talk about today. So we all know that scams are a problem, but do we know how much of a problem they are in Barnet? We've just got the latest figures for last month from the local police. We get these figures every month, so we can see that the numbers are rising. So in May alone, nearly over £703,333 was lost by Barnet residents to scams. So that's £750,000. So that's in 1 month alone. So if you multiply that month after month after month, that's a huge amount of money that people are losing every year. We know that there are something like 3.7 million incidents of fraud and scam in the last year. And we think that it's something like 40% of all crimes are scams. But within that figure, only something like 13% are ever reported. So the actual figure will be much higher than that. And so one of the things that we want to do as part of our project is to ensure that if you're scammed, please do report it. Because even if it's not possible to recover the money in your particular case, it helps the police and it helps Action Fraud to know the types of frauds, the types of activities that are going on. So I'm just going to look at some of the types of frauds and scams that you might be aware of. So doorstep scams, mail scams, phone scams, romance, dating scams, investment and pension scams, and cyber scams. Is everybody aware of all of those different types? I think doorstep scams is probably one of the smaller categories, but this is where somebody knocks on your door offering you a service. So it might be somebody suggesting that there's a problem with your roof, showing you a photograph of something purporting to be your roof, and telling you they can do you a really good deal, but you need to act today, as they're only in your area today or this week. So has anybody heard of that or experienced that sort of thing? Yeah, so that's, yeah.
Excuse me, bailiff is a scam coming to your bailiff?
Sorry?
Bailiff.
If they say they're a bailiff and they're not, absolutely. Yeah,
It's a scam.
If they're not a bailiff, yeah. Again, that's quite a common one. So obviously, if somebody comes to your door saying they're a bailiff, you need to check their identity. In fact, anybody coming to your door, check their identity, and ring a number that you trust. So if somebody says they're from the council, then you need to contact the council to check with somebody else. And don't just check the number that they give you that might be on the back of their ID card.
They're not allowed to come inside the property and check the items or break the door. They are a scam with the documents, papers.
No. If it's a scammer, it's a criminal. I mean, that is a complete stranger coming into your home. You wouldn't let any other stranger walk into your house.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if it is a bailiff. I don't know. You'll have to ask one of our lawyers about that. So one of the things that characterises this type of scam is that they will normally try and get you to make an immediate payment. As I said, so if it's somebody saying there's a problem with your roof, we're only in your area now, so can you make a payment urgently? And that's the key. When somebody wants you to act really urgently, there should be a red flag there. Okay. So we'll just have a look at some of the things that we can do. Yeah.
That's binding.
Well, obviously don't sign anything. If you haven't asked somebody to come and give you a quote for something, don't sign something. I mean, so many people are caught out with that. I mean, my neighbour was caught out with that just a couple of months ago. So yeah, don't sign anything. If somebody knocks on your door that you haven't asked to come and see you, then view that with suspicion. If you need a quote for something, then you do your own checks and you contact the building company that you want to contact, or if it's windows or whatever. So as I said, never call the number on their identity card. Call a number that you know is the correct number. So if that's the council, we've had cases where people say they're from the local police. Again, you need to check with the local police.
You know when you say ring the council, that's quite hard because first you have to look at the number and 90% you're not going to go through. So this guy is standing outside, so he might be genuine, you just I suppose you let him sit.
So
the natural thing is to say, well, just come in and and you're caught out straight away.
Yeah, so if it's a genuine person, they're going to understand if you say, if you don't mind, I'll just close the door, I'll check who you are, and I'll come back to you. And if the person isn't happy with you doing that, then this is likely to be a criminal.
Sorry, surely the council would contact you
Absolutely.
and send you a letter to say we
Yeah.
will be visiting your property
Yeah.
on such and such a day and give you the reason for the
Yeah.
visit.
Yeah, they will normally send you a letter or an email.
or-
It's very unlikely that somebody from the council would just turn up and would want to come into your property.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, never invite anybody in unless you have got an arrangement for them to call. But also just make sure you take time to consider. Do not be rushed. That's key, because with all of the scams that we're going to look at today, it's this, they push you to make a decision. If you don't do it now, it will cost you more. I'm not going to be here next week, so you'll get we won't be able to come back. So every time somebody pushes you to do something, again, that's a red flag. Also, if you do need work from a tradesman, get a recommendation from a friend, family member, somebody you know, a neighbour who's had work done. Don't just accept that the person who presents at your door telling you they're qualified in some way is actually qualified. And never pay up front for any goods or services. Because chances are you pay up front, they disappear with your money, and you never see it again. And as I said before, if it's a genuine person calling at your door, and if you say close the door, they're not going to be offended. They will understand. So if we just have a look at mail scams, these are also known as mass market frauds. So we often see this type of fraud amongst older people who are isolated. Maybe they don't have many visitors. They may not use the internet. So people receive letters in the post. I think we've probably all done that. You've won a prize. You've won something in this competition, this amazing prize, and it might be a holiday. There's often a number for you to ring to say that you want to accept the prize. That number is usually a premium rate number, and that the money that you spend on that number is going straight to the scammers. And of course, if you haven't entered the competition, you're not going to win the prize. So it might sound wonderful, but if it looks too good to be true, chances are it is. They may also ask you to send an administration fee to get your prize. Again, no genuine competition would expect you to send an administration fee, so that's a scam. We see some very sad instances of people who have received hundreds and hundreds of these types of letters, and it's really sad because people don't know what to do, don't know where to go. But there are some things that you can do to stop receiving this money, and we'll talk about some of those later. So you might also receive people telling you that you can have money off of a particular product. Again, they're very unlikely to be genuine. So we just have a look at the next one, phone scams. Has anybody had got an example of a phone scam they've had? Yeah, there's a couple now. I think most of us have probably received these types of phone calls, supposedly from somebody, either council, your bank, whatever. These are really proliferating at the moment, particularly calls from supposedly your bank. They will often say that your account has been compromised, and in order for you, to see a few nodding heads there. Yes.
your number, I've got to check it with the police station. They come down.
You're very clever. I should do that.
But we know that many people are caught out by this. The caller tries to panic you. They tell you they're from your bank. Now, of course, they make thousands and thousands of these calls. So a certain proportion of them, if they say Santander, for example, a certain number of people they call are going to have bank accounts at Santander. So if somebody calls you, says they're from Santander, people will often believe that that is their bank. So they will often tell you that they need to catch the people who are accessing your account, and they want you to move your money into another account. So they need your details. So you're already worried that somebody is accessing your account fraudulently, and you think the bank is there to help you, and you're in a state of panic, and too many people give their information to the caller, who is of course the scammer. And there are also cases where the criminals say that they need to have your bank card, so they'll send a courier round for your card. And at the same time, they ask for your PIN number. And it's incredible how, when you're in that heightened state of panic, and you think that somebody is accessing your account fraudulently, and people do believe the person that's calling them from saying they're from their bank and give these details. So it's worth remembering the bank, of course, will never ever ask you for your PIN number. So if we take nothing away from today at all, just remember that if anybody asks you for your PIN number, it is going to be a fraud. Nobody will ever ask you for your PIN number. We also hear of lots of people who get calls about wonderful investment opportunities. You know, it's just an amazing chance for you to make some money, and it's usually for a short period of time as well. Again, we just need to use our common sense. If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. But again, so many people are taken in by it. Lots of us get calls about our computers, saying we've got a fault on our computer, we've got a virus, and the person calling can help you with that, but you need to download, they'll send you a link, and if you click on the link, then they'll be able to sort out your computer problem for you. So you download the link, and that then allows them to access your computer. So don't ever click on a link that somebody sends you. That's very common when we hear about. They often use these links to install spyware or randomware or other ransomware, other sorts of bugs on your computer or on your phone. So if anybody sends you a link and it's not something that you've requested and it's not from somebody you know, don't ever click on it. So there are also, we hear of people who are asked to pay for membership for things they're not actually a member of, or warranties, particularly for things like white goods. And we know that people are often paying huge amounts in warranties for white goods that cost it's costing them many more times than the value of the goods themselves. So just be really, really careful, because these scammers are so sophisticated. They know all of our buttons to press. They know how to try and persuade us into accepting that they are the genuine people. So this one, for example, does anybody get lots of parcels delivered? Yeah. So this again is a very common one. You're from Every, which is one of the larger delivery companies. We were unable to deliver your parcel today because nobody was at home. Now that may well be the case. You may be expecting a parcel and you may have gone out, you may have missed it. So you click on the link thinking that Every were the people delivering to you, and of course that's a scam. That link will allow them to access all your details.
I thought with HTTPS it is secure. I can get you to understand it.
No.
It's evidence, but it's not conclusive.
No, not in all cases. We used to say that HTTPS was a level of security, but no, the scammers, as I said, they're getting increasingly sophisticated. They get around this. So you want to look at what it says at the end. Anything with lots of letters and numbers. So if you
I've clicked on that link.
You've clicked on that link.
What is that issue?
So they slightly varied the end bit. So you will look at every, oh yes, every, but you might not look at the last few digits, which they change slightly.
or
What does a non-scan look like? Because it's tempting
yes,
to click on that.
absolutely.
But space, what is it? So if
Absolutely, it's very, very similar. So what I would say, go on the internet. You've usually had a message to say that your parcel will be delivered, an email when you ordered your goods, and then you can actually track it through the actual every website itself. So do that, and then you won't.
it's a scary one, isn't it?
It is a scary one.
I received both on my email scam and phone, telephone number. And one day I told them, how did you get my number, They get from internet, or even, I receive an email, you have a delivery from out of England, or you want a SKU price box.
Yeah.
And then you open a link, then you check, and you can find that that's a scam.
Yeah, but with all of us, I mean, as Anne said, she's clicked on a link, I've clicked on links. You do it in a split second, especially if you're expecting something. So just be on guard the whole time. So we'll just look at the next one. This ad from John Lewis.
Yeah.
And there is a lot of these going around. We're celebrating our birthday and giving away £100 worth of vouchers. So all you need to do to get the vouchers, and there's only 291 left, so not many left. So all it's asking you think, well, that's pretty innocuous. Just answer yes or no. Have you ever shopped at John Lewis? But of course, if you click on that link, you're giving them access. Is that likely that John Lewis are going to be giving customers, hundreds and hundreds of customers,
So
£100
we shouldn't
vouchers?
not answer even the first question. We shouldn't
No,
let them
that's a
access.
scam. Is it likely that John Lewis
Sometimes
is
like
going
that,
to
you know.
give hundreds of £100 vouchers? So tempting though it is, just think, is that likely? I mean, they'd be bankrupt, wouldn't they? If they gave away hundreds of pounds of vouchers. So just be very, very careful, because some of these ads look so real, so genuine. And as I said, the scammers are so sophisticated, they can make their ads look like they've come from the actual company. So check, check on John Lewis, on the actual website, whether they're giving vouchers out.
So, sorry, if you click yes or no, you're stamped.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, either of those, yes. There's no vouchers.
Yes, but then she says, with the answer and with the first click, we let them access. Do you know what I mean? We shouldn't answer, we shouldn't
But the
click.
point about
We don't
it
let them
is,
access the
yeah,
details.
yeah. The point about it is how they can make it look really genuine, and that's how they fool so many of us.
If you find it is a scam, either on your computer or on a phone, switch them straight off.
Yeah, you switch them off, but
Click the link or...
yeah, but that doesn't necessarily remove the malware that they put on your computer. So yeah, so it's just about being constantly vigilant. And the more technology we all have, the more vigilant we have to be. And we have to try and stay one step ahead of the scammers. So, how best do we protect ourselves from phone scams? So one of the things is always say no. So if people phone you, I'm from this company or that company or bank, just say no. If it's the genuine company, they will not mind you putting the phone down. I mean, we've got a booklet here. Keep calm and hang up. And it's the best thing to do. If you're not expecting a call, if it's not from somebody that you know, just hang up. Never reveal your PIN number under any circumstances, and don't ever install any software somebody sends you in a link or asks you to put onto your computer. Use an answer phone if you get lots of calls to your landline. Use call screening and only answer people whose numbers you know. You can get caller ID, which helps you there. You could try blocking the calls, and we actually have call blockers here that we can help. That will help that for you if you are completely inundated with calls. So some phones have this built in. So you can also join the telephone preference service, and that will stop you getting cold calls, but it won't stop the scammers necessarily. But if you are inundated with calls, it will cut down on them. So we'll just go to the next one very quick. Romance and dating scams. I don't know if anybody knows anybody that has been a victim of those. Again, these are about people pretending to be somebody else, creating a fake profile and persuading you that they're somebody that they're not. And the people that run these scams are usually gangs of criminals. They could be from other countries, and it's a very large sector within this thing, and they do tend to prey on older people. So again, don't believe what somebody tells you. Don't share any of your personal information with them. They will often start asking you for money, and it might be for a family member who needs medical treatment, or it might be they may be living abroad and they might want to come and visit you, and they'll ask you to send them money. So just remember, it's not a person that you're talking to, it's a criminal gang. So, okay, so I think, should we just go through how we can report if we have been scammed?
Yeah, so